Good morning, my friends, and welcome. This is the Morning Mindset. This is our opportunity to get our minds and our hearts aligned with the truth of God. So I hope you're ready for that. Whatever you woke up with on your mind or whatever you are walking through the day with that's on your heart, let's set it aside for a moment. Let's take a deep breath. Let's recalibrate our minds to receive and to put into practice the truth of God that we discover today. Today we're looking at Proverbs chapter 10, verses 15. And before we dive in, I want to invite you to reach out to me and let me know a little bit about your story. I hear from people every week telling me where they live, how they came to faith in Jesus Christ, and how they found the morning mindset. I would love to hear from you. Please reach out. My email address, which I do respond to myself, is Carey, C-A-R-E-Y, @careygreen.com. And if you don't hear back from me within about a week, please check your spam. Oftentimes my messages land there, but also reach out to me again and ask if I received your email. It's possible you've landed in my spam. So please reach out. I would love to connect with you. All right, today, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 15 is one of those proverbs that kind of states something that seems very obvious to us. And yet, in the obvious nature of what's being said lies a deeper truth. Let's read Proverbs chapter 10, verse 15. It says, "A rich man's wealth is his strong city. The poverty of the poor is their ruin." Now, none of us would read that and say, wow, I never thought of it that way. I mean, while we may not have said those very words, we recognize that what Solomon is saying to us here is true. Wealth does provide a sense of security for people who have it. It does provide a strong city, as Solomon says, a place where people are protected and secure in earthly terms. And lack of wealth or poverty, the extreme in the other direction, brings about many ruinous circumstances and situations in a person's life. But Solomon didn't write this down just for us to nod our heads in agreement and say, yep, that's true. I recognize that that's true. That's the way the world is. Solomon wrote this down for our instruction. And what he's doing in writing these things down is he's pointing out these two extremes as things that do exist so that we can ponder them in both good and bad ways. Now, when we read that about a rich man's wealth being his strong city, we immediately realize, hey, I want to live in a strong city. I want wealth, therefore. And yes, that is one of the points that Solomon's making, is that if you can do things through diligence and hard work and ethical behavior to acquire more financial prosperity for yourself, it will provide some security for your life. Absolutely, Solomon is saying that. But there's also the inference here that a rich man's wealth sets him up to depend on that wealth when actually his dependence should be in the Lord. You see, to think of our resources as a strong city is really a foolish way of thinking, because our resources can be gone tomorrow. It doesn't matter what our investments are in. It doesn't matter how secure the bank is that our funds are in. Things could change in this world. God could bring about changes in this world that dry up those resources overnight. So you see, while it's generally true that our wealth is our strong city in this world, on this planet, it is not to be our strong city. God is to be our strong tower. We're to be resting in Him and trusting Him to be the source of our provision. Now, on the flip side, the poverty of the poor is their ruin. Well, absolutely. We see that. We see how lack of resources like food, clothing, shelter, water can put us in a very disadvantaged place. And yet, Solomon is pointing out to us the very same lesson as he's pointing out to the rich man. We should not be putting our hope in our possessions. We should not be putting our hope in the things of this earth, because our security, our true security, is in the Lord. And we need to rest in Him and seek Him for our deliverance from the situations that come about in our lives. And if He does that through providing more wealth, more prosperity, then blessed be the name of the Lord. And Jesus, we need you to give us strength and wisdom and discernment as we navigate situations like this. Show us how to use wealth properly, how to pursue it properly, but at the same time, how to be relying on you fully when we do have wealth. And when we're in need, show us how to depend on you as well. Not to let fear and anxiety and doubt fill our hearts, but rather to turn to you as our strong tower. We ask these things in Jesus' name.